You have to learn how to die in order to live. We tend to get attached to the past. We get attached to our past memories, our thoughts, our feelings, because it's addictive. We all know how addictive nostalgia can be. Being able to look back on the times that you were seemingly happier, where things were more simple, where maybe you didn't understand the world as much and the world just felt like it was very basic and light and easygoing. But the harsh reality is that this version of us, this version that wasn't wise to how the world worked, this version of us that had rose tinted glasses, that didn't really understand how the world worked, that part of us is dead. I'm 27, soon to turn 28. That's crazy, I know. I know. And I feel like I've died so many times. Not to be dramatic, but yeah, I feel like I've literally had to, almost like a phoenix, like die and be reborn, die and be reborn over and over again. And each time, I feel like I come out slightly better, slightly wiser, slightly smarter. I used to resist this death, this change. And those periods were the hardest periods of my life. Because whether we like it or not, change is inevitable. And it's just our addiction and our attachment to the past that prevents us from this change. I think in society we have like a negative understanding of death. Of course, the concept of dying is something that I feel like most people fear, me included. But the type of death I'm referring to is the death of a way of thinking, the death of a way of understanding the world around you, and the death of the way you see and understand yourself. Because what you have to do is realize that right now in this present moment, we're living the future of our past self while simultaneously living the past of our future selves. And being able to balance this understanding is very difficult. But you have to make peace with the fact that your past actions have brought you where you are today. And if you don't change those actions, you will be here in the future again. And that's a hard pill to swallow. A lot of us like to see ourselves as victims, that the world is unfair, our parents messed us up, that it was this person's fault that this happened. But none of that matters. What matters is the results. Where are you today? And where are you going? And I feel like this tendency to see yourself as a victim really does prevent us from growing and taking accountability of our lives. Because I've learned that the more attached you are to the past, the harder it is to create the future that you want. And I know it's maybe a bit of an oversimplification, but let it go. Let it go. The messed up things that happened to you that weren't your fault, let it go. The mistakes you made when you were younger and dumber, let it go. The people that were in your life that betrayed you or that misrepresented you, let it go. If holding on to these memories and these thoughts aren't serving you and aren't helping you become a better person tomorrow, then you have to let go of them. And this is the hardest part, letting go. Being able to let these thoughts and these memories die. Because a lot of us create our whole identity around our past, around our past thoughts, around our past memories. And when we let ourselves die and let these parts of ourselves die, sometimes it's scary to think about what could replace it. But we have to give up our past selves. We have no choice, we have to. Because repeating these same cycles that we all find ourselves in, where we're maybe doing the same action, thinking the same thoughts and hoping for a different result, it doesn't work. Because you're not the same person that you used to be. And that's okay. If anything, that's great. Growth and change may feel scary. But for me, I feel like staying the same is a lot scarier. And I know a lot of us get into these ruts where we think all hope is lost and how we are right now is just how we're always going to be. But I can't remember where I heard this quote or saw this quote, but it was something along the lines of, the man who thinks his journey is over is truly lost. Which basically means that someone who feels like their destination or their life is, not going anywhere and that it won't go anywhere. Basically the understanding of like losing hope is the worst case scenario, to be honest. Living a life where you have no hope of changing, where you have no hope of growth, where you have no hope of evolving is a horrible place to be. The truth is, we tend to limit ourselves, we limit our own potential, we limit our futures because we're too stuck on the past. We're too stuck on what happened to us, what we think happened to us, the apologies that we think we deserve, the people that we think wronged us. But by holding on to these grudges and not letting yourself get over them, you're actually just hurting yourself. These people that wronged you, these events that happened in your life, they've already happened. The damage they've done has already been done. So why continue to hold on to this memory and cause it to damage your future? Because we all limit ourselves. We all have our own limiting beliefs. Whether they're inherited by our parents who maybe tell us, that we won't amount to anything. Maybe it's the people you grew up with that showed you bad examples. Maybe it's just your own self-limiting beliefs based on you going on social media and comparing yourself to people that are seemingly doing 10 times better than you. And maybe they're your age or younger. But we all know that comparison is the thief of joy, so why do we still continue to rely on comparing ourselves to people that we know nothing about? But you owe it to yourself to get over your past. You owe it to your future self to get over your past. Because if you're unable to get over your past, your future self will bear the cost for this. And I think that's something that's made me want to make all these improvements that I've been making in my own personal life. It's what pushed me to start going to therapy when I did. It pushed me to start working on my relationships. It pushed me to start developing myself. It pushed me to start widening my horizons and believing in myself. Because I know that the vision I have for myself in the future, that version of me is abundant. He has so many things. He has so many skills. He's able to love freely. He's able to care for others. He's able to care for himself. He's able to do so. And I know if I don't put in the foundations today, I'm never going to reach there. And you should have the same sort of vision for yourself. I think that's what a lot of us struggle with, is having a vision for our future that isn't based on others, that isn't based on what we think the right thing to do is. But the only way you can reach this potential you have inside of you, to reach that future version of you, is to understand that the only way you can reach there is by doing different things, by doing what's led you to be who you are today. You're not going to be able to reach that person you want to become. So that means you're going to have to get rid of the parts of you that aren't serving you. And we all have those parts. And a major part of that is our egos. Our egos are one of the weakest and strongest parts of us because they prevent us from living our lives. They prevent us from doing the things that we know are right for us. Because we're not what happened to us. We're not our past experiences. We are who we decide to be. So don't let your past and your trauma and your past thoughts dictate your identity. Because you're more than that. You're more than the pain that you've endured. You're more than the negative thoughts. You're more than all this negativity that you've surrounded yourself in by dwelling on the past. And you're doing yourself a disservice by allowing your past to dictate your actions. Because we all know our time on this earth is limited. And I'm reminded of that every day. Every day I feel myself getting older. Like, the fact that I'm turning 28 soon, it's actually insane to me. But it's also important to remember that age isn't a decider of where you are in your growth journey. There's people that are way younger than me, way older than me, that are way more advanced than me on this journey. So don't feel like you're too old, you're too young to start this journey of understanding yourself and bettering yourself and creating a future for yourself. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this convo, and I'll speak to you soon. Alright.